Hi, welcome to this lesson on adding and subtracting fractions. Now, let's start at the beginning. Fractions are easy, right? They are easy. They're actually easier than you think. If you can do add, subtract, multiply, and divide, if you can do those easy operations, you can do fractions. So don't be scared of them. Let's look at a couple of revision little things about fractions before we get into them. Alright, fractions are a part of a whole. Okay, so when we're talking about fractions, we're talking about a section. Okay, a piece, a bit of pie. Okay, a decimal, a fraction, part of a whole. Those big things. So when you look at a fraction, the top number is the numerator, the bottom number is the denominator. Now what the denominator tells us is how many parts there are. Okay, so when I say 1/2, this number here is telling me that a whole is broken into 2 equal parts. If it was 1/4, being a 4, it would be broken up into 4 equal parts. What the top number is telling me is how many of those parts I want. So 1/2 is 2 equal parts, and I want 1 of them. That is 1/2. Nice and simple, just remember that. Okay, now because we're adding and subtracting fractions, the big thing you need to remember is that we need to get common denominators. You cannot compare fractions if they have different lots of equal parts. They need to be the same number on the bottom. Okay, now we do that by finding the lowest common multiple. The lowest common multiple. All we need to do is find that lowest common multiple to get those numbers the same. And then there's the number one rule with fractions. This is the one you have to remember. What you do to the bottom, you must do to the top. So if you change anything in the bottom around the denominator, you must do the same thing that you've done up to the top. Okay, so let's go and have a look at a couple of examples. The first one's nice and simple, 3/8 plus 2/8. So step number 1 is we need to get the same denominator. Now the good thing about this one is they already have the same denominator, so therefore we can compare them. Okay, so they're already broken up to 8 equal parts. So if I had a whole broken up into 8 equal parts, and I had 3 coloured in, and then I went and asked you to colour in another 2, you would tell me, by adding those 2 together, that you have 5/8. Nice and simple, it doesn't get any more difficult than that. The next one, simple example. (7/9) minus 2/9. Okay? Step number 1, we've got to get the same denominator. Now, they already have the same denominator, which is useful for us. So, if I had 7 parts coloured in, and then I asked you to uncolour 2, so take 2 away, taking these away, so do the numerator, we're going to take the numerators away, gives me 5/9. Okay, again, nice and simple. Let's look at one that's a little bit different. Okay, 1/3 plus 1/4. Now, step number 1, same denominator. Now they have different denominators at the moment, so we need to find a common one. So what we're looking for is the lowest common multiple, the LCM. How do we find that? It's really simple. Start going through your times tables. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 4 is 12. Okay, and continue going. You can write them down. Okay, 4 1s are 4. 4 2s are 8. 4 3s are 12. Oh, hang on. I said 12 on the last one. Okay, so our lowest common multiple is 12. Okay, so what we're going to do is write this over 12. Then my step 2 is I need to do the number one rule. And we're doing it over 12. The number one rule is what you do to the bottom, you must do to the top. So here we go. What did I do to 3 to turn it into 12? I multiplied it by 4. So I must do that up the top. 1 times 4 is 4. Okay? Bringing down my operation. Okay? What did I do to 4 to turn it into 12? I times it by 3. 1 times 3 is 3. Okay? I then have my last step, which is to do the numerators. Okay? Now I've written it in our example a little bit different to what I've got on my web page. Alright? But 4 plus 3 then gives me 7 over 12. Okay? 7 twelfths. Nice and simple. Okay? Let's look at one more example. Alright. 4 over 6 minus 1 over 8. Step number 1, same denominator. They're different at the moment. Okay, they're different at the moment. So, 4 over 6 minus 1, 8. What is the common multiple for those two numbers? 6 ones are 6. Go through your times tables. Go through those timetables. 8 ones, 8 twos, 8 threes, 8 fours. Okay, what you're going to find out is that the number is 24. The lowest common multiple of 6 and 8 is 24. Okay, so the next one is to do the number one rule. We're going to put both of these over a common denominator of 24. What did I do to 6 to turn it into 24? I times it by 4. So I've got to do that up the top. So 4 fours are 16. What did I do to 8 to turn it into 24? I multiplied it by 3. So I've got to do that up the top. 1 times 3 is 3. I'm just going to put my minus in there to remind me. So then I do what I need to do with the numerators. 16 minus 3 gives me 13 over 24. And that's my answer. 3 simple, easy steps. Righto, let's go away. Let's do 2 practice questions. Come back and we'll go through the answers. These are our practices. Let's do 1/3 plus 2/5. Let's do 7/8 subtract 1/4. Go away, have a go, we'll come back and we'll go through the answers. Alright, welcome back. Hope you had a go. Hope you've got both answers. So let's have a bit of a look at them. First one is 1/3 plus 2/5. Step number 1. It's got to be over the same denominator. We cannot compare fractions when we're adding and subtracting unless they're on the same denominator. So, what is the lowest common multiple of 3 and 5? If you do your sums, you're going to work out that it is 15. Now, step number 2. Let's do the number 1 rule. What you do to the bottom, you must do to the top. So what did we turn 3 in? What did we do to 3, sorry, to turn it into 15? We times it by 5. Sometimes it helps to write that up there to remind you. 1 times 5 is 5. What did we do to 5 to turn it into 15? We times it by 3. So let's write that up there. 2 times 3 is 6. Then, step number 3, we just need to add those numerators together. 5 and 6 is 11. So we get 11 over 15 as an answer. Give it a big tick, please, if you got it. Well done. The next one, 7 over 8 minus 1 over 4. 7/8 minus 1/4. Same denominator. 8 and 4. What do we got? That's a nice easy one. The lowest common multiple of 8 and 4 is 8. 8 ones are 8. 4 twos are 8. Don't have to go any further. So, number one rule, what we do to the bottom, must do to the top. We didn't do anything here, so I can bring that 7 down. Okay, this one we've times by 2. So what we do to the bottom, we do to the top. 1 times 2 is 2. Alright, 7 subtract 2 gives me 5 over 8. Give it a tick if you got it. I'd just like to point out before we go is that if you get one of these fractions that can be simplified down, make sure you do. You must always simplify your answers. We can't simplify any of ours because they are already down to simplest terms. Okay, but hope you got that. I hope that clears a few things up for you. Check out the rest of the videos at www.schoolmate.com and we'll catch you next time.